Hello, and welcome to At Home with Lucas. So today we're going to be talking about Ankbit EG03, made by 1MII. So in this video, we're going to be doing a hands-on with the box, quick unboxing and first impressions on said headset. After that, I'm going to be putting these bad boys to the At Home with Lucas test to figure out, are these something you should buy or maybe skip altogether? I'm here for you, so you don't have to waste your time buying and returning. All right, let's jump into it.
All right, let's take a look at this bad boy right quick. Okay, at the top left, you have the name of the company, Ankbit. This is the EG03 USB wired gaming headset. Oh, that's cool. You have a little switch right there, which you can turn mic on and off, lights on and off, and then volume up and down, I'm imagining. All right, let's get into this box, people. Definitely want to go through and read all of this so you know the ins and outs of this headset. Well, this is a nice little fake leather bag. It's got their name on it. That's pretty cool. I like that. Go ahead and open this up. Oh, very interesting. So this is actually just an add-on that you plug in. That's cool. It's a little bit poorly made. All right, so there is the microphone itself right there. I wonder if you could plug this into something else. That would be kind of interesting to find out if you could use this for another. Wow, very interesting. Okay. All right, take a look at the headset itself. This is where you're going to spend all of your time. And right off the bat, wow, this is made out of some really decent material. It's definitely flashy for sure, but this right here feels really decent. It's definitely plastic, but it's made out of like a dense plastic, so it has a little weight to it, which is what you actually want. Ooh, very nice. Okay, all right, that's interesting. This is I'm pretty sure that's just plastic made to look like metal, and then this is of course fake leather, which feels a little bit on the cheap side and a little bit slimy, kind of like some weird styrofoam actually, very strange. But I'm definitely liking the smooth feel of this plastic and how it kind of comes together at the bottom. Let's check the swivel. So it can swivel that way, but that's about it. So it swivels out like that, but then it can't turn anymore this way. So that's interesting. Definitely something to take note of. Decent cups right here. They're not the biggest. All right, so let's take a look at the cups themselves. They're a decent feel. They're not as big as I would like, and they're not an oval. They're a full-blown circle, so that's something to take note of. If you have big ears, your ears may get pinched in this area right here, which could cause some annoyance over time. Okay, so it looks like the LED is behind here. This is like some kind of frosted, glossy plastic right there. So that's gonna light up once you plug this thing into your device. Let's do the flex test. It flexes pretty well. It's decent. It's decently flexible. It's not the most flexible pair of headphones I've ever dealt with. Definitely could be a little bit more flexible, but for the price that you're paying for these, that's not bad at all. All right, let's take a look at the cable. Hold on. Okay, so that is the microphone port right there. So this is where the headset, all right, that's where it meets. And yeah, that's not bad. Okay, I like that. It's pretty flush, and then you can adjust this around. This is kind of cool. I like the fact that you can have just a normal headset, and then if you do want to do any talking online or whatever, you could throw this on, or if you're doing a Zoom call maybe, you could throw that on. So that's a cool thing that they allow you to completely remove that and make this a normal looking headphone. So here is the toggle. Oh, that's decent. Okay, so wow, it's very loud when you turn it off, and then when you flip it up, it's very muted, if you will. That's funny. Kind of mushy, and not really like the best feeling switch right here. That could be a little bit better. Same with this. This is very mushy, and it looks like it clicks up here. Yeah, this doesn't move at all. This part doesn't move. So when you're clicking on that, it's just up the top right. So that's a sign that this is a little bit cheaper than I would have liked. There's the volume all the way up and volume all the way back down. It doesn't go into a click, so there's no click to say it's at off. So there's no click volume down. Take a look at the cable here. This is just a standard old school USB, old school to some people, but standard for some people. This is a braided cable. The cable is pretty thick. That is a very thick cable. I think it's thicker. Yeah, it's definitely thicker than the microphone cable. So that's really cool. That means you're going to get some good audio transferring through this, and you're going to have some good anti-tangle. This is not going to tangle up all over the place. So that's really cool. Yeah, so first impressions, this thing is, it's not terrible. It's just not as quality as I would have liked. It definitely feels like it could be a little bit better. This is, once again, plastic that's trying to look like metal. That would be very cool if this was metal. I'd be interested to know if this company made a premium version of this. Okay, so this is completely locked in. You can't remove that. Now that would have been really, really cool if they made this able to be removed. All right, first impressions, this is not terrible. I'm intrigued, definitely intrigued and interested to see how well these things actually sound and how comfortable they are. They feel pretty comfortable. All right, so coming up, we're gonna be plugging these into my Alienware PC and giving them a good game test. Okay, one more thing before we jump in. I just read that these are actually 50mm speakers. That is incredible, and they supposedly have a virtual 7.1 stereo surround. So that actually makes me a little bit more impressed, assuming that these are actually good quality drivers. So they call them speaker unit. So that's something that's a little bit questionable, because it's not called a 50mm driver. Yeah, that's very interesting. So now my expectation has just gone up for the sound quality of these bad boys. Hey, what's up guys? I want to talk about a sponsor that I have for this channel, Don Pablo Coffee. Yes, people, Don Pablo makes an amazing variety of coffee. I actually went down to Miami, Florida and modeled for his bourbon infused coffee. Yes, people, they have bourbon infused coffee. This is coffee for the people who don't even like to drink coffee. This is coffee for people who love to drink coffee but are bored of the normal coffees. They have single serve bourbon infused coffee. They have whole bean bourbon infused coffee, not to mention all the other varieties they have. They are a small batch coffee roaster. Now you're probably thinking, what does that mean? What does it mean? I'm going to tell you. A small batch means you're going to get a fresher bean. Yes, people, everything they roast is roasted smaller, which means you're getting a fresher batch. All the other companies roast in ginormous roasting contraptions, and that means you're getting it less of a fresh batch. So click the link down below, go buy some amazing coffee, and let's get back to the video. Okay, this is going to be a two-part test. Part number one is actually how well they fit on the ear. They feel decently comfortable. They're a little bit small in terms of height. I typically like my earbuds to be more of an oval and less of an actual circle, but nonetheless, they do fit on my ear, and I don't feel like they're super terrible. The cushion is a little bit small also. You'll notice right away when you put these on that the cushion kind of just like hits you, and it doesn't have a lot of give to it. So that's one thing to take note of. But after they get a little bit warmed up, the foam gets a little warmed up and your ears get used to them, you kind of forget that they're on. They kind of feel good. There are the lights right there. You can set it to an individual light, or you can have it go through like a rainbow effect. So it just kind of keeps going and going and going, which is really cool. So I'm going to give it a comfort level of 4 out of 5 stars. I'm going to say it's not a 5-star premium comfort level, and it may cause you to be a little bit sore when you take them off, or you may actually start to feel sore after like maybe an hour's worth of use. So these are good for like maybe 20 to 45 minutes. I would say if you're trying to do any excessive heavy gaming with these on, it's going to come down to your ear size. So if you have a smaller ear, you're going to be fine. You're going to love these. They're going to fit really good. They have a good amount of adjustments at the top, so you can really custom fit it to your head. I always have to pull it down a little bit further than I think, and then it starts to feel a little bit more comfortable, so that's something I do. Okay, so part 2 has already begun. It started exactly 1 minute and 42 seconds ago, and that is the microphone test. So this whole portion right here was recorded through this microphone and not through my Note 20 Ultra. So this is going to give you a exact understanding of how people are going to hear you when you're playing online gaming, when you're doing Zoom calls, when you're doing anything where your voice is being picked up. This is the quality of the microphone. So this will give you a good understanding of what you're actually buying when you get these headphones. So I do like the microphone. It's very adjustable, and I love the fact that you can just pop it right off. Like I said earlier, that is really cool. It does have a little red light right there that lights up while you're talking. All right, that's the test.
Okay, just plug these into my Alienware PC, and the plug and play is absolutely amazing. I plugged it in and it switched directly over to these headphones. Completely blown away by that. I got my Sniper Elite right back there loaded up. I'm going to be testing out the 50mm drivers in these bad boys to see, are they actually as good as they should be. 50mm drivers, woo! That is insane. Okay, just finished about 25 minutes of gameplay. I was completely immersed in the game. The sound drivers in these bad boys are absolutely amazing, truly pack a good punch with the bass and the sound quality. Phenomenal, blown away. This ear got a little bit annoyed with the headphones. I do have sensitive ears, so take that into consideration. If you're like me and you have sensitive ears, these push a little bit too much on the actual ear, and it's a little bit annoying, but it could be something you get used to. I'm not sure. They're just a little bit tight, I would say. They don't flex as much as you would like them to. But yeah, definitely great. The other thing I found was the controls are a little bit too high, and they like to flip around, so they don't want to be facing out. They tend to flip around, and I felt like the controls were just a little bit too high up. I don't know why they're so high up on the chest. Another thing I found was it was quite easy to turn the volume up and down, and these things get very, very loud, almost too loud and ear-piercingly loud. So take that into consideration. The volume dial is very sensitive, and these things could damage ears. So they're extremely loud, but yeah, I was blown away by the driver quality. Absolutely amazing. Definitely 5 out of 5 stars for me for gaming. Big thumbs up. Okay, let's talk about the LED lights in the headphones and the controller itself. So the very simple setup, you have this ability to have one solid color that just keeps on fading out and then popping back in, and I think that's just to save on your energy, and so you don't use a lot of electricity and whatnot. And then when you press this, you're going to cycle through all the colors, so you can go and pick your favorite color that you like the most, and it will just do a fade and stay on that color. Once you get to the end of all the colors that it has to offer, it will turn completely off like you see right here, and then when you put it back on, it's going to cycle through all of the colors and fade into each one and keep going and going and going, which is kind of nice if you don't want it to be on a particular color. But the only downfall is that this does not have the ability to just stay on full blast all the time of one color. So it's always going to be fading out and fading back in, or it's going to cycle through all of the colors, and that's basically all it has to offer. So it's basically just a two-step process. You could cycle through all the colors until it goes off, or you can have it cycle through all the colors by itself. Okay, let's talk about the control itself. So one thing I talked about earlier was this is actually quite easy to bump. I actually bumped it up a little bit without knowing it and noticed the volume was very, very loud and had to bump it back down. So this spin wheel is very, very, it's not going to just fling and just start spinning up with volume. You do have to give it a little bit of press, but you can bump it with your clothing or whatnot. So that's something to take note of. The button pressing here for the lights, very simple, very straightforward. The on-off for the microphone, I like that a lot. It's really simple to turn off, but I could imagine you would have it off and then not know it and try to maybe do a voiceover or record something and then have it not work, because there's no real way to see that this is off unless you look directly at it. It's not going to tell you inside the headset. Also, this likes to lay like this, which is interesting. So it'll lay on your person and this will face out. So that was kind of interesting. I don't know if they did that by design or if that's just the way the cord likes to lay. So it likes to lay like this. Another thing I found was the distance from your ear down to the controller. I felt like it was a little bit too high up. I felt like I would want it to be at least 4 inches down, maybe over here, versus being there. They may push back and say that this is perfect for younger kids who are smaller than full-grown adults. I'm, 5'9"-ish, so I'm not the tallest person in the world. But yeah, I felt like this was a little bit high up. I felt like I had to pull my hands up to an uncomfortable level. And the other thing is, this is a little bit big. I kind of wish this was smaller, maybe just the width of the inside and not this outer part here and here. Maybe they could shorten that or shrink that down in a future update or a future upgrade for this bad boy. But yeah, all in all, I'm going to say the controller, it works. It does its job. You can turn up the volume. You can fine tune it. I kind of wish there was more of a locking feature or a clicking, click, 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 click. That way it was a little bit more locked in. And I wish it didn't have the ability to just be bumped and volume itself down. So that's going to be something that you're going to either set it and then glue it, use some Gorilla Glue to lock it into place or something, or a piece of tape if you're finding that this thing is moving around a lot, and then just use your device's volume. So I was using my Windows computer volume a lot instead of using this. I kind of set it to a comfortable level, and then I would turn up the volume on the computer itself. So that was really, really cool. But yeah, I mean, this works. It does its job. It's not terrible.
Okay, so I've been using these headphones for long enough that I think I have a full comprehensive review, and I'm going to start off with comfort. I think comfort is something that's going to come down to your personal preference, what you actually like. I think that these things just don't flex as far as I would like for my head size, and the ear cups are just not as big as I would like for my ear size. So I typically like an ear cup that's a little bit taller. It can be a circle, it doesn't have to always be an oval, but I think if it was just a little bit bigger in diameter, and the padding. So the padding is definitely where it loses me. I need a padding to be a little bit thicker, and this is also a little bit more squishy versus foamy. So it's a little bit more of like a hard squish, and when you first put these on, when they're a little bit cold, you really notice that immediately. It's like, oh, that is really annoying. So if your ears are smaller, you're going to have no problem whatsoever. If you don't have sensitive ears, you're going to have no problem whatsoever. So comfort level, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I'm going to say they're just not as comfortable as I would like. Let's talk about design. So design, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'm going to say they really did a good job with the lighting in the back here. It looks like something very premium and very cool, and it's not the standard LED look. It has its own sort of look to it, and the fact that you can really dial in the exact color that you like. One thing I wish is that it would stay solid on a color and not do the fading. The only time you get more of a solid, like I talked about earlier, is when you cycle through all the colors and then you let it run its course and just continue to run through all the colors on its own. Then you get a little bit more of a solid look. I do like the way that this is chrome and the red and black. It just has this like cool look to it, but of course it's not premium. This is all just plastic, so it's more of like it looks cool, but it doesn't really function as well. The microphone on this thing I actually thought did a really good job. I felt like it picked up my voice. Not a lot of bass, but it definitely picked up my voice. I like the fact that there's a red light that comes on when the microphone is plugged in. That's really cool. That shows other people that your microphone is on, so that helps out if you're doing any sort of live streaming or anything like that. People can see that it is plugged in all the way. It's long enough, even with my beard, it didn't really get in the way of my beard, and I was able to talk clearly into it. The flexibility of it is decent. It definitely likes to move back to being a little bit more straight, so it doesn't really hold its position as well, but I love the fact that you could take this off and not have it on if you're not going to do any sort of microphone stuff while you're gaming. So that's really cool. Let's talk about the sound quality. So the sound quality of these things, absolutely amazing. I felt like the sound quality was premium. The 50mm drivers in here really pack a good punch. I think I said 5 stars earlier. I'm going to drop it down to a 4.5 stars for the sound, just because these are my first gaming headphones I've ever reviewed, and I don't want to start off by giving something a 5-star when it doesn't deserve it. But I think the sound and the bass quality, very, very good. I was completely immersed in what I was doing while I was using these headphones. The padding on the top is kind of similar to the padding on the ear cups. Not the best. I wish it was a little bit better. But I think that these things are going to be great for someone who's a little bit younger, smaller ears, not so giant of a head. I definitely have a little bit larger head, but nonetheless, you can adjust these. But if you notice, the width from here to here is actually not that much. So that's where this whole thing kind of falls apart, is that this is really not designed for big heads out there. But yeah, so all in all, I'm going to give these a solid 4.3 star rating. I'm going to say I recommend these. Hopefully I covered everything in this. Because this is my first gaming headphone review, please be kind in the comments down below and let me know if I missed anything, and my next review of gaming headphones will be that much better because of what you guys tell me. You guys are amazing, and everything you guys tell me I take into consideration and I apply them to future reviews. So hopefully I did my due diligence in this review, and you give me that like and you give me that subscribe, and I will do my job of finding better headphones to review so that you guys can understand the quality and whatnot of future gaming headphones.
All right, there you go. That's the Ankbit. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely click that like button. And if you want to join the At Home Lucas family and you want to be a part of this crew, hit that subscribe button. Every time I get a subscriber, I get a boost to make more and more videos. It's because of you guys I surpassed 3K. Yes, people, on my way to 4K, but I need your help. Yes, you right there. Tell your friends, tell your family, this guy's on YouTube. They should go subscribe and watch my channel. But as always, I thank you for watching each and every one of my videos, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.